I'm Jasmine Jeshishija, Assistant Professor of History Department from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. Now we can see about what is meant by convolution. Here, if you are seeing the convolution, it is the mathematical way of combining two signals to form a third signal, and it is the most important technique in DSP because we are using convolution in most of the places. That is, convolving the two sequences in the time domain is equivalent to multiplying the sequences in the frequency domain, and here we are using this for determining the system output giving an input signal x of n and the system response h of n. While we are seeing there are the types of convolution, there are linear convolution, circular convolution and section convolution. In the case of linear convolution, it is broadly classified into graphical method and cross table method. In the case of circular convolution, it is classified into concentric circle method and matrix multiplication method. While we are going for this section convolution, it is divided into overlap same method and overlap add method. Now we can see about circular convolution. Here this is nothing but it is the periodic convolution, and here the length of the two sequences must be same while we are performing the circular convolution. Here we are using giving two sequence that lets the input be x1 of n and x2 of n and the output be x3 of n. Therefore, while by using the mathematical representation, it can be represented by using x3 of n equal to x1 of n convolution x2 of n. And now here we are padding zeros, that is zero padding. If the two sequence length are not equal, we should add zeros to equalize the length of the sequence. Here, while we are going for this concentric circle method, we are convolving the two sequence. That is, while we are having two sequence x1 of n and x2 of n, these two sequences are represented in the form in the circles, that is concentric circle. The outer sequence, it is denoted, it is x1 of n. Here we are just denoting the sequence in counterclockwise direction, and also the inner sequence is x3 2 of n, that is the second sequence. Here we are denoting the sequence in the by using clockwise direction. Therefore, output circle, the sequence, the input sequence are denoted by using anti-clockwise direction, and in the case of inner circle, it is denoted by using the anti-clockwise direction. Now we can move on to the problems. Here, while we are seeing this problem, performing the circular convolution of the following sequence, they are given two sequence x of n and h of n. Therefore, y of n equal to y x of n convolution h of n. While we are seeing this x of n, here x of n we are representing the sequence by using the anti-clockwise direction, and in the circle it represents this h of n. It is represented by using the clockwise direction. Therefore, now we are just convolving, or we are just multiplying the sequences in the inner sequences and outer sequence in that particular position and finding the value. That is, for example, while we are seeing this, the top portion, that is 4 into 1, it is equal to 4, plus 1 into 1, it is equal to 1, and 3 into 2, this is equal to 6, and 2 into 1, it is equal to 2. Therefore, while we are adding, we are getting the sum as y of 3, that is y of 0. And the second step here, that is x2 of n. We want to find the value of x2 of n. Therefore, we are just keeping this outer sequence as such, and the inner sequence, it is shifted by 1 unit to the anti-clockwise direction. Finally, by using the same procedures in step 1, we are just multiplying the sequence and we are finding the value as y1 of n. Similarly, for the third step, same, we are again rotating the inner circle once to in the anti-clockwise direction. By using the same method as in the same previous method, we are just multiplying the sequence and finding the sequences y2 of n. And finally, in the fourth step, again we are the inner circle or the inner concentric circle is rotated by 1 unit in the anti-clockwise direction. By using the same method, we are just multiplying the sequence in that particular positions, and finally we are finding the value, and at last we are denoting the output sequence as y of n. That is, we are just putting the bracket and finally we are just arranging all the sequence in the order. That is about the concentric circle method. And let us see one more example. Here we are giving the x of n is 2 1 2 1 and also h of n is 1 2 3 4. Here also we want to find the value of y of n by using the circular convolution. And also we want to keep one thing in mind, that is convolution in time domain is equal to multiplication in frequency domain. That is convolution in frequency domain is equal to multiplication in time domain. Okay, that's the main concept. Here same, we are just representing the outermost circle, that is x of n. It is represented by using the anti-clockwise direction, and in the inner circle it is represented by using the anti-clockwise direction. And finally we are convolving or multiplying the two sequence, inner circle and outer circle, in that particular position, and finally we are finding the value till it is continued to step 2 and step 3 and step 4 till we are just here. In this method we are the inner circle is moved once or it is rotated once by using the anti-clockwise direction, and finally we are finding the value. This is about the circular convolution by using the concentric circle method. Now we can find about the matrix method. Okay, while we are performing the circular convolution by using the matrix method, here also we are just convolving we are just circulating the sequence by using the matrix method. In the first step, that is in the first column we are arranging all the sequence in the order, and finally we are rotating once and we are writing the second column. Similarly we are again rotating once and writing in the third column, and last we are again rotating once in the fourth column. Okay, and it is rotated or shifted in such a way that the sequence will be same in first and last column. That is it does not be equal at any instant. Okay, and now again we are just writing the value of x of n in the last column, and finally we are just multiplying all the sequence and adding the sequence, and finally we are finding the value. That's about the circular convolution. Thank you.